energy cost, utility cost is a major portion of the utility or the maintenance budget in most school districts. And it's one area that you can really work on shaving cost if you really monitor what you do, look at your bills monthly. Utility Direct is a tool to contain cost in a nutshell. And there are several different other programs out there. This is simple. I have 42 meters. I actually do them myself, no secretary, no one else. I actually keep track of myself. I input the data, and I can do 42 meters of electric meters in about 30 minutes of inputting the data. It doesn't take that long to do because once you set it up, it's just keystroking a couple of figures in your costs and your kilowatt hour consumption. Everything else is figured for you. What we end up doing with the other utilities like water, gas, and sewer charges and garbage or solid waste and recycling is you kind of see when there's, and it has happened, I have experienced that, where the city actually doesn't get billing correct. And you go through your bills as you enter your data and it comes through and you get a flag going, okay, something's not out of kilter here. And you go back, and what really is really amazing with our city is you take the stuff back to them and you bring your data back to them and lay it out for them, and they have no idea that you're actually tracking it because you're a check and balance to your billing that you receive from your city services, and they make mistakes. And just like we make mistakes too, but they make mistakes, and we want to be sure that we're paying what we need to be paying for it and nothing more. So, but like I say, water and gas is another area that can really have a lot of errors. And Texas being a deregulated state now for power, I'm in the process now of going through that RFP sequence to negotiate a new contract for our district. And one of the things that's been an advantage of having Utility Direct, which I mentioned before, is the fact that I've been able to get somewhat better commodity pricing due to the fact that I have all this raw data and actual usage month by month of a history for the last 5 years that retail electric providers can look at and go, whoa, okay, here's their pattern, here's what they've used. Our risk is going to be somewhat lower to give them a price, knowing that, okay, we know this is what they're going to use. We can go out and buy this much power to provide to Sherman ISD. I don't have to fudge another 5, 10, 15%, not knowing what their really consumption is going to be. So what I have found in the last couple of weeks is that I'm almost getting a penny difference to the good versus another district that doesn't have the backup data of their history on their pricing for buying power for the future. So Utility Direct is, especially in a deregulated state, for power is a very powerful tool. I know what my cost per student is. I know what my cost per square foot is. Basically, per square foot, I'm running about 63 cents a square foot for electricity and about 10 cents a square foot for natural gas. And I would challenge a lot of folks in my area to beat that. And the reason I'm able to do that for one or two things is to have the Utility Direct data to go to my retail electric providers and say, here's my consumption, what kind of price are you going to sell it to me for? Do that. And the other side of the coin is to always monitor each month's billing as it comes through, and it flags if there's anything that's run out of the ordinary and averages. That's the best part about the whole UD solution. So one of the things that we've done, that I do to get buy-in from the staff in each campus is to do a 2-year, a 3-year run chart. Basically, a line graph is 2 previous years consumption. I do 2 charts, one for consumption and one for pricing. Even though they don't really have control of the pricing, I do the budget, but I want to know what's going on. And they get 2 years running plus then a year to date that runs all on top of each other. And we give 35% back to each campus principal for their activity out of the maintenance budget for any savings they save over the previous year. And so that has been pretty good. I mean, it's pretty much hard to do now because I've got to negotiate some good pricing. Consumption has gone up a little bit, but the part where that comes to play is having to do with facility scheduling, is if principals get requests for say a PTA function or an athletic event that's going to take place, a booster club meeting or something. Well, instead of them just rubber stamping it and sending it right on approving it, even don't really look at that much time they're asking for 4 or 5 hours in the evening to run additional equipment and lighting. When they know what it's costing them or how it can affect them, they'll look at that a little more closely before they just say, yeah, approve it and send it on over to maintenance, y'all just take care of it. They'll look at it and say, do you really need 5 hours of operating time? Can you get your meeting only be 2 hours? And then they make those corrections and send it back to us because they know they'll get credit back if they save their operating dollars for utility-wise in the form of 35%, which goes back in their budget to use at their discretion. So we're trying to bring everybody in. And so what I do, then we send every month at their billing, so they always know each month what's going on at their facility. Utility Direct is just a tool to capture the information that you need to make decisions of how to operate your facilities. And one of the things, and I know more and more school districts are getting a lot of pressure from outside community use because feeling like, we pay taxes, we should be able to use these buildings. Yes and no. That's fine if you want to pay, you use these facilities, but here's what it's going to cost you to operate them per hour or per day or however you want to dice it up. Without this information, you cannot stand before your board or for a community group and say, here's what it costs to operate this building. And so what a lot of schools are doing that use utility programs like UD, and which we will be doing also since we are building some new facilities, is we'll look at our cost per square foot. And yes, just because this PTA or this group likes to use their home campus and they're going to have a big function, we may tell them, no, you're going to go to this campus because it's a lot cheaper for us to operate this facility based on these facts than it is for you to work at this facility. And because we have to do due diligence with our taxpayers. And one thing about School Dude that I've always liked about is there's customer service second to none. You never get a recording when you call unless it's way after hours, but you get a real person on the phone. You get feedback when you have a problem. You're going to get an answer. You may not get the right answer you want, but you're going to get an answer one way or the other. They're going to find a solution for you or help you make it happen, or correct you what you're doing wrong because you may be doing something that doesn't really work. And what's really unique about School Dude is it may work for Texas, it's going to work for Oklahoma, it'll work for Canada. The one thing I like about School Dude is a family atmosphere. I mean, the people that I've worked with, it's like, once they get to know you, you're just like a member of the family. And so they'll take care of you.